think that's where I almost looped it last time. Stalled it! But I think I stalled the bike here last time. Ah! Crap! Hopefully I'm not burning my clutch too much. Okay, body position. In the uphill. And I'm gonna take the left here, because that's the actual trail. Last time I took the right. Falling super quickly and having the bike, you know, tumble at you at high speed from behind or something like that. But now it's super rocky, which adds to the difficulty, because the risk of the front wheel, or the rear for that matter, just sliding to the left. I don't know if it's visible on camera, but it's like it's leaning. It's on a camber. All right, I'm at Rowher Flats, or Rowher Flats, or Rowher Flats, however you're supposed to pronounce it. Today I am gonna reattempt to break OHV trail. It's one of the a little bit more challenging trail. I did it a little over 3 months ago when I was still new to this bike, and it was a little bit challenging at the time. Like there was one case where I accidentally lifted the front and almost looped it, and another time when I sort of went off the beaten path. I think that I would be curious to see what it feels like now to ride that trail. Now that I'm a lot more comfortable with the bike, I've gotten a lot better at body position, because remember FYI, when I was new to this bike, that was coming off an ADV bike, and one of my earlier challenges was how important body position is on a lighter bike like this. And so we'll see. I've ridden a bunch since then, in the 3+ months, and we'll see how it feels. Alright, break OHV coming up. Got a little bit of warm-up done, just riding over here. Still a bit stiff though, should be fine. I think that's where I almost looped it last time. That went fine. Definitely one of those places where you need to lean forward appropriately, in a way that you did not have to on the 890 or something like that. Not that I went this particular trail on the 890. Hopefully I'm not burning my clutch. Stalled it. All right. Whew. Definitely should have been on the gas a little bit more. Whew. Okay, let's see if I can get started without backing up. Let's try the little wading the back trick. There we go. All right, this time, let's see. What is this again? Coyote. Okay. Well, we're continuing down break. Nice view. Whew. going a little bit slowly still because there's just rocks and stuff, and I'm worried about a deflection of the front wheel onto the side, even though it's not super steep, but still. Slightly disappointed that I ended up dropping or I didn't drop the bike, but like, that I stalled the bike. I wanted to make it all the way through, you know? Oh well. Speaking of rocks and deflection risk, if I remember correctly, there's a particularly rocky part coming up, I think. Indeed. Would have been easier to just go, I think, at higher speed, but also more risky. But I think I stalled the bike here last time. Ah, crap! I was gonna say, at least I'm not stalling it. Could have taken that right hand, less rocks, but I did want to try the rocks. I want to kind of get used to a little bit more gnarly stuff. Okay, let me see how this is gonna work out. I'd like to get up this without backing off. Okay, maybe I'll back off a little bit. So far, I guess how I would summarize it is, I feel more comfortable because I'm more comfortable with the bike and so on in general. But you know, it's still a fairly challenging trail, and I haven't magically become an expert in 3 months. We're actually going to do a little bit of a water break. Okay, let's do this. Okay, I'm going to pick that sort of center line up to the left is my plan. I don't want to go too far to the left because it's leaning, so I think going straight up, hopefully you can see with my chest cam, hopefully going straight up and then sort of sticking to the left is going to work out. Okay. Hopefully I'm not burning my clutch too much. All right. Cool, I got through that. Looking at it, you can't see because of the angle, but it actually kind of looks almost more scary going down, to be honest, looking down it. Still taking it easy with all of these rocks. Okay, body position in the uphill. And I'm going to take the left here because that's the actual trail. Last time I took the right. Oh, I might have made it if I didn't chicken out. We'll see if I can get started here again. It's pretty steep actually. Okay. It's working out. Wait, is this actually the trail? I actually think I'm supposed to have gone. Ah, so to the left here is actually the trail. That's even more gnarly to get up. Gnarly enough that I didn't even think it was a trail. Let me actually go back and take a look and assess if I'm gonna just go back and do that. Okay. That's a lot actually. It's pretty tight, you have to be the right place with the wheels, and it's pretty steep, and obviously big rocks on either side. They could catch levers and stuff. Maybe I'll save that for next time. Like I went up this, which is a little harder than the right downstairs or down the hill, but next time, third time's the charm. I'll maybe do the hardest part of this, or the hardest path. Okay. And here we join up with the easiest path. It's kind of nice that you have options with like 3 different difficulties. But okay, so I haven't conquered this thing yet, and here I believe, yes, that's where we join up with a difficult path. I was turning around and looking, you won't see it on the camera. Okay, here I went right last time. I either misread Onyx or Onyx was giving me bad information, but the left here I'm pretty sure is the actual trail based on signs and so on. Although I think the other path is more fun. It's not long or anything, it's just a little bit more fun. A little bit less of just a basic dirt trail, a little bit of terrain variation, and I think a little bit more of inclines and declines. But I'm trying to stick to the official trail now. Aside from the fact that I already didn't go through the main path with that uphill section. Like I said, hopefully next time. Whew. This uphill, I think, looks bad or looks steep and difficult, but I think it's mostly just long. If I remember correctly, it's not that challenging. Well, it's decent enough. Whew. Whew. That's a bit of a workout. This last section is challenging, and here we are. Up at the fire road. And here's the view. Whew. Break OHV trail for the second time. It's a good practice going back down this trail. Pretty steep and gnarly in places. This is not too bad, but it was more rocky behind me. Speed control, speed control. It's always what I try to practice on these things. Just slow, constant speed, regardless of what the terrain is doing, so that if something goes out of control, I'm not going at a fast pace. And I think it's a good way of just practicing being in control, basically, of the bike, not letting it get away from you and stuff like that. And a lot of, variation. Rear brake, front brake, adjusting all the time, and so on. So I feel like it's really good practice. Maybe I should do more of that, just like intentionally. It's my first time going down this trail. Last time I went up it, I didn't go down it. I went on to other stuff. Okay, I'm gonna take that alternate route. So yeah, the sign says that the trail goes to that, so that's brake for sure. I'm gonna take this alternative path that I only took in the other direction before. I'm actually using first gear to let my clutch rest a little. I feel bad about it, just using it up so much on some of those climbs. It's always like, do I go to first? Do I slip the clutch more in second? Okay, more good sort of slow speed practice, downhill, in gnarly conditions. There we go. Lost confidence, had to tap my foot. It's a good thing that I was going slowly, which is the point of this practice. I think that's the main reason for me why uphills are sort of less dangerous feeling. They're not necessarily easier, but like the failure modes aren't, falling, like getting out of control in terms of speed and falling super quickly and having the bike, tumble at you at high speed from behind or something like that. Of course, the bike can tumble and so on, but it's not quite the same. Like I feel like with the downhills, you just need to be on it, and if you do lose control, give up, drop the bike, get it under control. Don't let it don't let your speed go up. And now you're suddenly in a position where you either have to stay on the bike and find a way of stopping it that way, or you have to get off the bike at a high speed, which is obviously not great safety-wise. Now the question is, do I take the more difficult path here in the other direction? This path up doesn't seem too bad. I'm more worried about the stones on the other side. Let's at least get up there and see what's up. Okay. Here we are. I mean, I can definitely walk it down there. Do I dare try to ride it down? I don't know. I think I'm gonna paddle it down, honestly. Not quite ready to just take this. Probably doesn't look too bad on the camera, of course, as usual, but speaking of downhill consequences and things, it's gnarly in a few different ways at the same time. It's steep, you have wide rocks on each side, so it's more like you're kind of in a rut almost. And like it's also steep. It's not just steep for like a few feet during the actual technical section, it's also heading into a downhill. So if you fuck up enough, you can go flying. Whew. Okay. Water break. Yeah, same thing, but now it's super rocky, which adds to the difficulty. Slow, slow, speed control. And with the rocks, you have less margin for the front brake saving you. I could go faster than this, but I'm sort of, my point here is to actually practice being in control. So even if I want to really nail that. It's not necessarily that fun to go downhill anyway, like in terms of just like going downhill at a brisk pace. It's sort of more fun almost to be practicing this stuff for me. It's all subjective, whatever floats your boat. But I like practicing that kind of stuff. Okay, let's do the rut, because it's practice. Okay, so yeah, constant speed, without sliding the wheels or sliding them minimally, and getting used to sort of not getting into oh shit, I'm sliding the wheel, and then like letting off of the brake and then speeding up, right? Like just smoothly reacting to what's happening, and if there's a slight slide, let off a little bit but stay in control, and so on, right? Alright, we're arriving at what I think is probably the most difficult downhill section on this trail, which was also difficult uphill, but I feel like downhill speed control is going to be extremely key. And my backup is going to be lean to the right and fall that way, right? Oops, already stalled it because I was skittish. Maybe I will do the left-hand side here, going down, I think. Because the risk of the front wheel, or the rear for that matter, just sliding to the left, I don't know if it's visible on camera, but it's like it's leaning, it's on a camber. Whoops. I think the risk of that is fairly high. And so I'd rather take the slightly more confident route, even if I'm sort of paddling it, but get down without dropping the bike. And this is where balancing is key, because I'm trying to keep, well, I lost it there, but my right foot on the rear brake, which means that if I'm gonna have a foot on the ground, I have to lean to the left, but it's, if I have an issue, I want to fall to the right. So it takes some care. All right, chicken way out, but it worked out. This might be the most exposed corner, to be honest, on this trail. It's not terribly exposed normally, only some sections. I mean, this is fairly steep, but it's still like, you'd eventually stop. You wouldn't tumble all the way back down, I feel like, as long as you're not going over at high speed. I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else steep here, not really. There's a little bit at the beginning of the trail, so the end, but I don't think anything that's competitive with what I just went through prior. Okay, some decent downhill practice after all. I didn't quite remember it was this steep. Okay, some decent downhill practice on this side of the trail after all. I forgot that this was this steep, while also kind of technical. And here we are at the end of break, or the beginning, however you want to look at it.